Shall I start? And welcome to Tales for Wales, the podcast that will sail you safely through Widow's Bay, or release the beast in you, and hopefully appeal to some Americans.
Oh, very good, very good.
As ever, at the start of the show is me, and I'm Franks, and I'm joined by my understudy, my little rat understudy.
Ratty understudy. Also, are you joined by me,
me,
Franco?
Big Daddy. How are you, mate?
I'm not too bad, mate. Not too bad. How about you?
Yeah.
You under the cosh with
I'm
work
under the
in
cosh.
Brazil?
Yeah, I'm off to Brazil in 2 days' time for work, and it's. I mean, I won't have a day to myself or time off work now for 1, 2, 3, 4. So hang on, 7, 14, 16 days in a row.
Oh, that's stinking.
I know.
It's no
but
good.
On the last 2 days, I will be getting drunk on Copacabana because the conference is pretty much over, and I'll be I've done all my social media bullshit. So I'll be,
Man nor beast couldn't pull you away from the bar in those days, could he?
No.
Franks, we just need a little. Actually, we're going to take you back to the.
No,
mate.
Off, mate.
See you later, buddy.
But I will be with the client, which will be a bit mad. We shared an Airbnb, and I'm just I want my own space. I don't want to be anywhere near anyone. But
you're going
it is
to pull him close, be like, brace yourself for this.
Yeah.
This is going to be brutal.
Yeah, it was a mad Italian woman, which is even scarier. And she's like very full on, and she's like, yeah, I don't know. You know what? How me and you love our own like space, our own place to like.
Especially after like a lot of social time and energy spent, you just want everyone to just fuck off and leave you alone.
Clear right off. But so mostly for things like this, right? So I'm a bit of a hypochondriac. I'm a bit of a.
You can be. You've been known to be.
Yeah, but then sometimes I also am ill, so it's like it's a.
So sometimes it's justified.
Yeah, sometimes it's like, all right, I'm just being a nervous Nelly, and sometimes I'm being a correct Colin, and I actually am.
Exactly.
And I had like loads. You know, me and you had a mega 3-week sesh where it was like every weekend it was
back to back
Friday,
to back,
Saturday, mega biggies, and then at the end of that. So the Monday following the 3 weeks of it, my shits were jet black, like genuinely jet black, and I was like, "This is a bit graphic. I apologise to our more tender-eared listeners, but
don't listen to us with your tea, guys."
But it was genuinely jet black, and I was like, "Day one, let's ignore that for a second." And then day 2, I was like, "This it didn't smell." So I googled it, and if it was like tarry and really smelly. Apparently, it's like blood, and it's really bad. But it wasn't anything like that. It was just genuinely. It was like matte black. You know, like the absence.
Was this like? Is like your sins were coming out instead of like your food sort of thing? Yeah. And I was about to say the absence of light. It's not black, but the absence of something. It was like just space.
It was just literally. It was like the absence of light, and it was like just pure black, and I was like, I couldn't believe it, and so I googled it, and I thought, do you know what? If this happens again, I'm gonna have to call the doctor, because like fucking hell, you can't be shitting out black coal,
pure blackness, yeah.
And I thought, do you know what? Me and Emma don't talk about filthy deposits, and we don't fart in front of each other. We're quite like we don't do any of that nonsense, right? Yeah. But I said to her, I was like, oh, I've actually like my deposits are black, and she was like
deposits. Emma, I've done an ablution.
A
dark ablution,
and she said, "So are mine." And I was like, "What?" And she said, "So are mine." And I was like, "What?" So we tried to remember what we ate, and we went to Porthcawl, and we went down to Hwcult down Porthcawl, and they did an ice cream, like a Homer Simpson style donuts flavored ice cream with a black cone. And the cone was like, it's the cone that's done it.
It's all coming together.
Yeah. So then we realised it must have just been the cone. Then we Googled it, and loads of other people had commented saying that.
Amazing ice creams, but my shits were completely black afterwards. Yeah. 4 stars.
I'll send you the culprit. We always say we'll put things on the Patreon, so let's remember to do this, right? Can you put this up?
You need to send a picture of you up on the stage as well, holding yourself.
Oh, okay.
Remember that one we forgot to put up on the Patreon as well.
Remind me, I'll do that after this then, right? Let me quickly send. Where is it? I want to send you the I'm scared. Where are you?
Is the black cone bringing all the fear back? The shits.
Well, I'll have to find it after this. But yeah.
We'll find it after.
Yeah. But that's a bit of a laugh, isn't it?
Black code. Who knew? Who bloody knew? That was a culprit all along.
Also, I saw Jack last night cheating on me in the cinema, which is a tough pill to swallow.
There was prior warning to this, although we made it look as though it was very good acting from both of us. Oh, bloody hell, mate. Oh, I didn't know you were coming here.
Just sent you, yeah. But, I went with my cinema boyfriend, and Jack went with his cinema boyfriend, and our worlds collided. And I think it was the worst film I've seen in a long old time, man. I thought it was.
I know, yeah, you're saying it, like not very recommended from you. I quite liked it, although I do have the stain on my letterbox now, where I've given The Odyssey 3.5, and I've given Evil Dead Burn 3, which does look a bit mad next to each other.
Yeah, it's undermined any sort of like.
But they do different things.
We did say
they tick different boxes.
They are diffies, but yeah. What I was going to say then? Do you have anything? Normally, you like to do a nice awkward anecdote. Do you have a nice one for us?
The only one I've got, and it's been on my little list for a while. I keep forgetting to say it, or I keep getting better stories to replace it with. To top it. But the other day I was walking, because it's been so hot lately, you know, when we were having that really bad heat wave and it was like 30 fucking degrees.
It's still too hot now, man.
It's still too hot now. I dream of the day where I'm not fucking sweating my tits off again. Yeah. But that time when it was like 30-something degrees in the day and like the night would only get to like 26, 27 as well, which is horrible.
Yeah. Horrible. It's absolutely horrible.
It's horrid, actually.
I didn't like that one bit, actually. It's really horrible.
And I said, I'm a bit too hot, actually.
Yeah, Amy, I'm too horrible and hot. My bum's wet.
Yeah. But because then anyone with a dog will know you can't take your dog out of the seat, so you got to go at like stupid o'clock in the morning, right? So I was taking him out. Usual route, and we go past this bus stop, and there, which was unusual for about like 5:30 in the morning, there was I'm assuming a dad and his young daughter there. She must have been like 8 or 9 or something, which I was like, that's a bit early for
to say that.
Yeah, I'm assuming that was how unusual, and not ding dong. There's But yeah, I was thinking, it's a bit unusual to see that sort of peering out this early. And then I walked past and I could just hear, and so I looked back and the dad was like shadow boxing his daughter, like, and she looked so fed up. And I was just, and then my mind started spiraling. So I was like, is it his daughter? Or is it his wife with some sort of growth condition? And it could be like just a very small person that's just fed up of getting shadowboxed. Either way, they were fed up with the shadowboxing. But I kept looking back, and he kept going for ages. I could hear him all the way down, like to past this park near mine. I could hear him in the distance on the wind. It was like just going away.
I always laugh at the time when you accidentally had your light on in co-op and it looked like you were filming someone and then you had to over-exaggerate that you know what?
That's like a seed of anxiety in my brain. Every time I go to that co-op now, I'm like half expecting someone to be like, remember me? I was the person that you were filming.
Nonce! Yeah. I did the same before. It was even worse. I was on a train and my phone light was on. And I was like, and to make it even more weird, I put my phone, because I'm on it, when I'm on the train, I'm on it constantly. So it just overheated because the light was on, and I could feel it on the back of it really hot. So I put the back of the phone on the window to try and cool it down.
Down.
But then the light just looked like I was trying to film the reflection. and people sat opposite me, and I looked like an absolute nonce.
Looked like you thought you were smarter than you were. Like, I'll get with the reflection. They all know that. Yeah. It's so embarrassing when you do stuff like that, because then you have to like pretend that you knew something was wrong.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, this bloody phone!
Looks like I'm trying to film you.
I'm used to this new phone. Yeah. You got to fucking not just like I just made a mistake. All right. I just hold my hands out. I made a mistake.
We're just innocent men.
We're just innocent men.
I've been looking at films because my flight's not too bad. It's 12 hours from London to Brazil. London to Brazil. So I've been like, and I like that because it's not like I don't have to go to fucking Amsterdam or change or anything like that. Like,
a straight shot is nice.
I was originally going to have to do like 2 transfers.
What have you got lined up?
I've got Frankenstein.
The new one with old Jacob Elordi.
Yeah, I've got All Quiet on the Western Front because I think that's the best war film in about
Still need to watch
2
that.
decades.
We've been talking about that a lot recently, and we keep going.
It's a real shame that Kanye West sampled it in the most offensive song in history, but it's a fucking banger. Like Kanye West often does, he does produce bangers. But I've got. I got loads, man. I downloaded
It's quite the stint, isn't it? Quite the journey.
I downloaded every episode of There's Something Not Quite. What's that one? What's that horror one? It's that Netflix 8-part horror, and it's called
horror.
You watched it? It's called
8-part horror. Oh no, it came to me and then it's gone. So you have to remind me.
Something like I don't feel this isn't right.
Something very bad is about to happen.
Yeah. I don't feel quite
That's
right.
Yeah. I feel a bit off.
I don't feel right.
That acclaimed 8-part horror miniseries.
Yeah.
I feel a bit off, mate.
I've also re-downloaded Train Dreams because I think that's a beautiful film.
Still need to watch that as well.
That's
got so
really,
much on my
really
list.
good. I downloaded a bunch, but my mind's got a bit blank now. I also downloaded shit films on I like Roadhouse. I think that's quite a fun one.
With Swayze.
Yeah, no, the Jake Gyllenhaal one.
The remake, with Conor McGregor.
I love it.
Yeah, that's quite fun.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about movies. Should we move on to today's main feature? And also, just to say, we've had a couple of weeks off deep dive episodes because we did a lot for the Glyndŵr, and we
did a huge series. Yeah,
lots of podcasts take a break over the summer, but we're just because everyone's fucking busy and everything. But we're going to try and keep going and not miss any.
We're always chugging away, and we're always on the ground working hard.
We might have to do a best of or a fucking clips or whatever because Oh, and also we're going to be on telly, so we need to be. We're
sorry, guys, we've got prep for our debut. Okay,
yeah, we're going to be on a quiz show, so we need help from listeners. Anyone out there, this is a genuine plea. If you're any good at general knowledge or how to get good at general knowledge quizzes, please get in touch. Find us on Insta
and fast as well, please.
Please, God, fast.
We're on the gosh.
Maybe we release this one this weekend because I think by the time this goes out, we might have actually been about to doing it.
Oh yeah, I think that'll be right on the cusp, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so maybe
we'll switch the order up a bit. Yeah,
because we desperately need. We're so in over our heads.
Going to be shit otherwise.
We're going to be shit.
Should never have agreed to
this.
We've
been invited on as a pair as Tales from Wales on a Welsh language quiz show around. It's like general knowledge, obviously with an emphasis on some Welsh stuff. But can you just give us tips on how you revise for general knowledge? Because how do you learn everything? And I bet I know our listeners are clever clogs, so please either email talesforwales@gmail.com, I think.
Tales for Wales with the number 4.
Yeah, or get in touch via Insta. It's probably the best way of doing it, which is Tales for Wales podcast. You'll find it. But please,
just give us your top tips. How do you sort of cram it all into that brain box? Because we're going to struggle. I think.
Yeah, we look like absolute fucking tits, aren't we?
It's going to be like, you must have seen that clip of that woman on The Chase where every single question she goes, pass, pass, pass.
There's a boy in my university where they said something like it's the answer was cats, and he goes, they said something like, King of the Jungle. What like domestic animal was once king of the jungle? And he goes, dog, and they go, cat. He goes, ah. So, and he went. He went around uni. Everyone just go, dog, cat.
That'll be us, mate. In a few weeks, we'll be sick of it by the end. But I'm sorry, I'm thick. All right.
So yes, please get in touch. Help us on our little quiz show. Thank you.
Yes, please do.
But talking of movie knowledge and general chit chat, today's episode is all about
segue, nicely done.
The current king of the screen, because I would say he's having he's having his flowers, as some people might say.
King of the jungle that is film and TV, you might say.
Nice. Sorry, thank you. Better segment.
So today, I'm going to be talking about one of Wales's great. Oh, am I?
Yeah, that's a Muttley laugh.
I thought you said muckily.
No, Sid James style.
But I'm going to be talking about one of Wales's great thespians, a man that's been given a lot of limelight lately. even though he's been in the biz for quite a long time. I'm talking, of course, about the great Matthew Rhys.
Which, not our friend, the comedian Matthew Rhys, who is
not
also
to be confused
a great Welsh
with Matt
legend.
Rhys.
Yeah.
Mm.
If you haven't
not
checked,
to confuse with
if
him.
you can, go see Matt Rhys. He's often performing at Sando's comedy night. You know, the guy who does that guy.
Yeah, check him out. He's
Matt
very
Rhys
good.
is
He's been doing the comedy stuff for years. He's bloody brilliant. What are we laughing at that?
That's just such a weird way of saying it. He's been doing. He's good.
He's an experienced comedian. You know, he's very good at it. Like he's been bringing smiles to people's faces for ages.
Really
just carry on. Anyway, so Matthew Rhys, you might have seen him in a couple of things recently, like The Beast in Me on Netflix or Widow's Bay on Apple TV, both of which he's been Emmy nominated for. But the man has actually been in a ton of stuff, most of which you might have missed. I'll go through some of those lesser noticed roles in a bit, but first let's have a look at the man behind the actor's mask. So Matthew was born in Cardiff on the 8th of November 1974. Cardiff born, Cardiff bred.
And his Cymraeg is so Westphalian.
It is very, isn't it? I wonder if he's got a Westphalian parent, a mam. Yeah, proper mam.
He's got a mam from West Wales. I can smell it on him.
Exactly. Sniffed him out ages ago. But yeah, he's Cardiff born, Cardiff bred.
When I die, Cardiff dead.
He'd be Cardiff dead. Yeah. And he grew up in Welsh-speaking schools, starting at Ysgol Gynradd Cymraeg Melyn Griffith in Whitchurch, and then Ysgol Glantaf in Llandaff North, which is just up the road from me at the moment. Glantaf was like one of the ones that constantly said about our rivals when they.
Well, it was like it was the first like Welsh language school, I think, in Cardiff, I think, and then they opened Glantaf, and then we were the first in their Little Morgan. So I think it was like the OG Cymraeg school.
Yeah, and then we got basically when our school opened, we got shitloads of like money for it. I think like funding and stuff. Yeah. Not us particularly, the school. So we had all these like great like facilities.
Tellies,
Yeah, whiteboards and like electronic whiteboards. I think they probably thought it was a bit fair. Yeah, I should just move along. Anyway, at the age of 17, he played Elvis Presley in a school musical. I don't remember our school musicals ever having anything like Elvis in them. I just remember constant productions of Under Milk Wood, just like always back to back to back.
He did have a lot of Under Milk Wood. Yeah.
Constantly on that. No, I would love to have seen you strut yourself on. Just going.
I had the role of the postman in Under Milk Wood, but I didn't learn a single line. And then it came to about a week before, and they were like, "You haven't learned anything." And I was like, "I'm not doing this."
You're like, "I'll do it on the night."
Yeah, I quit, and they removed.
Did they have to go with your understudy? Did they? This is my time to shine.
Yeah. Thespian wage got demoted. I had to go.
And they were just absolutely wasting everyone's time for months.
I know. It was as well. It was like Christmas until July, and I was like, "I'm not going to do this, guys."
It's a week to go, Frank. So you haven't learned your lines. So you're going to do it within the week? I'm just not going to do it at all. I'm just not even going to turn up. So good luck. Anyway, so he applied and was accepted to the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, also known as RADA, in London. And while studying there, he appeared in a couple of series. One was series 2 of a police series for the BBC called Backup, where he played PC Steve Hiccup Higson. Old Hiccup Higson.
Sounds bad.
Sounds shit. There was only 2 seasons of it as well. I don't want to say that Matthew as Hiccup Higson ruined it and got the series cancelled, but with a character like that, who knows? And he also starred in a film called House of America, which was a Welsh film from 1997, set in a depressed mining town, following a dysfunctional family of brothers Boyo and Sid, the sister Gwenny, and their controlling mother, and he played Boyo in it. Apparently it's all about Welsh identity and the influence of folk heroes, which does sound up our street, to be fair. But I imagine because we haven't
Boyo, like an actually reductive Welsh,
very reductive.
Here's Taff and here's Boyo,
and his other brother. But it's like that actually won 4 awards at the BAFTA Cymru in 1998. So Matthew Rhys was already an award-winning flick from the offset, playing the character, like I said, playing the character Boyo. He was also in another Welsh film called Bydd yn Wrol, or Be Brave in English, where he won a BAFTA Cymru Award for Best Actor. So the man was bolting straight out of the gates, like into the awards sort of thing. Although I'm sure some would say they're only BAFTA Cymrus, but listen, we're fucking proud of them, all right?
Who I think you added that slight. I don't think anyone was thinking that.
I've seen them be mocked as they're not they're not real BAFTAs. I've seen comments online. Ricky Gervais had a little dig at them in.
Did he?
Was it extras? Do you remember?
No, what did he say?
It's like when he's him and is it Ronnie Corbett get done doing coke in the bathroom or something.
Yeah.
And then they're going to ban Ronnie Corbett, and he said, you can't come to any of the BAFTAs anymore. And then it was like, they go, what? None of them, none at all. What about the Welsh BAFTAs? He's like, yeah, right then, no one cares about those. Something along those lines.
Yeah, well, he can fucking kill himself.
Well, he can go fuck himself, exactly. So anyway, from all the way up until about 2012, he worked in a load of films, including Titus.
Also, sorry for keep interrupting. Some people do call them the wafters, which does kind of undermine the Welsh BAFTAs.
The wafters. Dangerously close to woofters as well, which I actually want to petition to change them to. I've won several woofters in my lifetime. Yeah.
The Willy Woofters. All right.
Yeah, the woofter for best actor. Don't talk to him like that. Anyway, like I said, up until about 2012, he worked on loads of films, including a film called Titus, which is an adaptation of Shakespeare's Titus Andronicus. I haven't actually seen that, but it's got another Welsh movie legend. It's got Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, and Alan Cummins, I think, is a...
has it got him in it as well?
Yeah, they play it as
a Scottish boy.
Yeah, they play it as Nazis. So it's like it's Shakespeare, but based in the future, and they're like the baddies are all Nazis. It's good. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
I'll give that a look. He's also on the West End around this time doing the stage adaptation of The Graduate, that film with Dustin Hoffman that everyone loves. And he played the main character that Dustin Hoffman played in the film, Benjamin Braddock. When you might remember, which this cropped up and it sort of gave me a little bit of a blast of nostalgia, a movie called Death Watch from 2002. Do you remember that? It had Jamie Bell, Andy Serkis.
Yeah. I've actually got it on DVD.
Have you? Yeah, amazing. I knew if anyone would.
Yeah, they like go over the top in World War One, and then
it's a World War One like sort of a war film, but it seems like horror-ish. And I don't really remember a lot of the story. I remember the barbed wire played a prominent part in it. It's like creepy barbed wire.
Everyone mad. So like they get
that's right.
They get like gassed, and then they start seeing like zombies and stuff like that. And it's good, man. It's fun. It's a really fun. It's classic. It's of that like dog soldiers ilk.
I was just about to say, when I saw it, I was like, I definitely remember seeing that in like your little Kutch down star you had in your mum's house.
Granddad's room. Yeah, the beer room.
The beer room, yeah. I definitely remember seeing that. But yeah, that was what he was in, although he's got a smaller role in that. He doesn't do one of the main characters. In any case, Matthew Rhys was in that, but he was a smaller character. He got a lot of acclaim for his role in the drama series Brothers and Sisters between 2006 and 2011. I've heard of that, but I haven't seen it. It's not really my kind of vibes, but more like drama thing. He played another famous Welshman, Dylan Thomas, in The Edge of Love in 2008. Those unfamiliar will probably know Dylan Thomas's arguably most famous poem, that "Do not go gentle into that good night." But that again, apparently the focus isn't on Dylan Thomas in that. It's like a love story, I think. But anyway, he played Dylan Thomas in that, so a Welshman playing a Welsh boy. Nice to see. In 2010, he also starred in the film Patagonia, which was a film made jointly between Wales and Argentina.
He's like such a big Welsh-ophile, isn't he?
He is, yeah. I'll touch on a little bit of that later. But he's massively interested in Patagonia, the settlement, as well, over there. So for those who don't know, there's a Welsh settlement in Argentina, in Patagonia. And they still speak Welsh to this day and stuff. It's a very cool, like, little international link Wales has with another country. But yeah, this film Patagonia that he was in, it was selected selected by the 84th Academy Awards, so the Oscars, for Best Foreign Language Film. Sadly didn't make the short list, but still, Oscar for a Welsh film getting Oscar buzz was worth noting. Matthew, actually, as I mentioned, has a massive interest in Oladva, or the colony in English, which is the Welsh settlement I just mentioned. He only managed to get the role in the film Patagonia, actually, because he was over there in 2005, and he was actually travelling on horseback with the descendants of the original Welsh settlers. Oh, wow. Like, just off his own back to just, like, have a feel for the country and whatever, yeah. And that's when he actually bumped into Mark Evans, who was the director, and he was there location scouting. And because they met, then they started getting talking, because he could speak Welsh and everything. He ended up getting cast in the film, so a little bit of, like, happenstance there. Was it serendipity? Is that what that's called?
Yeah.
Overall, by the end of 2012, he'd been in 34 productions, consisting of 21 films, 13 TV series. One I did spot that I'm definitely going to watch as well is a Welsh animated film called A Mabinogi. It's live action to begin with, and more main characters fall into some water. They get transported to like the Welsh otherworld.
Yeah.
And Matthew Rhys plays one of the main characters in that called Lley. Not to be confused with one of my favourite mythological heroes, Lley Llawgyffes. But I think we did mention this before. I think we talked about this in a previous episode at one point, but very briefly. But anyway, it has Johan Griffith as the voice of Bendigeidfran. It's got Anton Lesser, aka Meister Qyburn from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And one of your favourites, Paul McGann of Within Alive fame.
Oh.
He voices Matholwch in it as well. So it's quite the eclectic cast,
cool.
I think,
when
for
did
like
it
a
come
sort
out?
of. It came out 2000. When was it? 2000.
2003, I think.
Yes, that's it. 2003. That's the one.
Have you watched it?
No, I've got it. I found it. If anyone wants to watch it as well, because it's. I was trying to search for it, thinking there's no who's going to be hosting that on like a streaming site, but
some people...
it's no, it's on. I wrote it down here. Is it? Yeah, there's. Yeah, so I think it's called the Internet Archive. It's called, and if you just Google "Watch Mabinogi 2003 Internet Archive," you'll find it, and you can cast it to your telly and all that. So I'm going to check that on at some point.
That should be a part of our film things that we do.
Yeah, maybe we should watch it and do like a little a review of it, because we were always saying about the Mabinogi one would be great for like an animated series. Yeah. I wonder if it's probably not got the best budget. I think S4C is like one of the production companies that made it.
Sky and so is BBC. So it's a bit of a...
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so there's maybe a bit of hope.
Maybe they've got a little bit behind it then. We'll have a look. We'll have a look. I mean, the cast is pretty good.
Is it all in Welsh?
I think it's in Welsh and in English. There's two versions.
All right, cool. Well, let's add that to our list of things to think. We can watch it when we do the... maybe we can double bill it with Grand Slam.
Grand Slam, yeah. I love that idea, because when we can that's two episodes done, and we've watched some absolute Welsh iconography there.
I like that you look at it as purely admin based.
Purely, yeah. It's just nice to do two in one. Anyway, back to Matthew. So he got a lot more limelight in 2013 when the FX series The Americans debuted. This was a series set in 1980s about Cold War Russian sleeper agents in America. Matthew Rhys played the co-lead alongside Kerry Russell, who he's been in relationships with since 2014. They also had a son in 2016. I saw a bit of a clip about Matthew. It's quite funny. He said in an interview before he actually met his now wife. No, they're not married, sorry. His now partner in 2002 at a party in Los Angeles. But he said he was absolutely smashed. And he was like, very awkwardly being like, "Oh, can I have your number there, love?" Or like, and he managed to get a number, and then he called her that night again while still battered, and left like a drunken voicemail, and she completely ignored it and like just blanked him. Oof, big oof. But then anyway, it was about 10 years later when they started working together on The Americans. They actually started getting on and then ended up together type thing. But I just like the idea that a smashed Welshman just trying his luck with a Hollywood actress. Anyway. Matthew went on to win a Primetime Emmy Award for his acting in the 6th and final season of The Americans in 2018. And then as well as that show, he was on a few other notable TV shows. And I think, Franco, you mentioned this on a previous episode. There was a Welsh-centric episode of Archer, the animated one, that comedy. Yeah. Matthew voiced a character in that named Lloyd Llewellyn. Yeah. Lloyd Llewellyn,
it's like
even.
The Welsh Freedom Army, isn't it? That's
it. It's I haven't actually seen the episode. I should actually sit down and watch that. But he's in that. He was in BoJack Horseman. He was in that show Girls. I haven't seen that, but that was very popular, I know. And the biggest one, of course, on the list was Gremlins: The Secrets of the Mogwai.
Oh, as in the back.
I don't know. I have no idea.
No, is that like a spin-off from Gremlins?
From the Gremlins movies, yeah.
Gremlins,
I literally never. I did not know that they made like a spin-off animated series of the Gremlins.
It's in my 80s/early 90s blind spot where I've not seen any film from that era. So I've never
the original
seen
Gremlins and Gremlins 2 are really good. They're really good fun, but I just didn't realise they'd done Secrets of the Mogwai spin-off.
I've seen Death Watch, but I've not seen not seen
priorities,
Star Wars,
mate. Priorities. Yeah, fuck off Star Wars, fuck off Harry Potter until very recently, but Death Watch and Dog Soldiers all day. So this all led to 2025 when he was in The Beast in Me on Netflix. In this series, he plays Niall Jarvis.
He's really good, isn't it? The show's a bit.
Apparently, he's very good.
The show's like classic Netflix thriller where it's kind of like, it's a bit like background viewing, but he's really good at it.
And this is where he started getting drumming up a lot of kind of he was getting clipped a lot on social media and all that, and him and his co-star Claire Danes, they both were nominated for another Primetime Emmy Award for the roles. And then his latest release was Widow's Bay, which I mentioned earlier at the start of the episode, and that is a really good show if anyone hasn't seen it. It's on Apple TV.
Our best, I think.
I think he is.
Yeah.
He's a rapidly risen to the top. Wait until I get into like the pro Welsh stuff now. But go watch Widow's Bay if you get a chance, because that's really good. So outside of acting, Matthew set up his own production company called Patagonia Productions. They currently have 2 projects in the works. One is an adaptation of the book Operation Julie, which is about the biggest LSD bust in history, or is it definitely in the UK?
UK history, yeah.
UK history.
We've done an episode on as well, so if you want to get
I was just about to say, we got an episode, get ahead of the curve, and then you can tell your mates that you heard it here first. But yeah, he's going to do, he's looking like he's doing a film on that, which I think could be really good. And then the other is a potential film about Owain Glyndŵr and the rebellion of 1400, which if you've listened to us for even a fucking millisecond, you'll know we're massively fucking excited and bricked up about the idea of that.
In Austin Powers, when they find his penis, that sounds like a convoluted way of where I'm going, but do you know in Austin Powers when they find his Swedish penis pumping larger, and then they goes, "That's not mine, baby," and then they find his book saying, "Oh, my manual guide to own the Swedish penis," and he goes, "That's just not my bag, baby." Him doing a Glyndŵr film is very much my bag.
Much my bag. Yeah, it's the opposite to that, and I would have no shame about saying it.
If
that is my bag, baby.
When I go through customs, they find my scribbling saying, "I want Matthew Rhys to play Glyndŵr," and then my other book, "This is my bag, baby."
Whose is this? Mine, mate. Mine.
Yeah. I mean, what an odd way of saying that. I want to see him in that film, but
was a roundabout. I was wondering where you'd go with it for a second, but it made sense.
My bag, baby.
You stuck the landing.
Yeah, I love Austin Powers, by the way.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't love Austin? But so that I'm massively excited about that. I really hope that comes to fruition, because that'll just fucking make our lives.
It's been years he's been talking about that, and like the difficulty of getting that made, and because you kind of got to do it on a grand scale, don't you? You've
got to do it real. You got to do it for proper as well. You can't do like a half-assed micro budget shit.
No,
you got to do like a big epic.
Every single comment we got about, like, so many comments we got, which were we got a lot of comments from that series we did. Everyone was saying, "How is this not a film?" And I agree.
But so I'm very excited about that. I hope he gets it through. I'm happy to donate a $5 or a $10, Matthew, if you're listening. That's all I got, though, mate. So he's also teamed up with another Welsh acting extraordinaire, Rhys Evans, to fundraise for the Vale of Aeron pub in Ystrad Aeron in Ceredigion. Matthew also invested in another pub in Pennal in Gwynedd. And then in 2019, a pub called the Glan yr Afon, which is also in Gwynedd, was put on the market with no buyers. But because of a campaign supported by the lovely Matthew Rhys, a shares offering for public ownership was set up. And after raising the 450 grand, the local community now own the pub after purchasing it. So that's another feather in his cap for being like my dream Welsh crush, because he supports the pubs.
He's a great
pub man. Yeah. Great pintsman.
And also,
I'd love to have a whip around for a pub.
I love Michael Sheen. What a ledge, right? Sometimes a bit of a caricature, and he's a bit like he looks mad as well. He's a bit wacky bastard. Whereas
a wacky bastard is very true.
Whereas Matthew, my friend Matthew, he's so bloody handsome.
Sometimes we call him Matt on the pod, friend of the pod, Matt.
Matty, he's so bloody handsome, and he's so cool, and a bit scary. You know what I mean? He's a bit scary.
Well, he's got that scowl, isn't he?
Yeah.
That he could.
He's like a friend's dad at a sleepover. That if you're up too late and he has to come in and tell you, first the mum comes in to tell you off, but then if he comes in, you're in fucking trouble, boil and bubble. You're absolutely done for.
But that's what I thought. That was another. Oh, could I like you any more? Could I fancy you any more, Matthew? Invest in pubs as well.
Yeah,
Matthew, my boy. So he's also got I don't know why I put this in. Actually, he's got a boat in New York, a chartered boat in New York called. This is why, because it's called the Rarebit. That's why a little nod to Wales.
He
That's
does
why I put it in.
fucking love Wales, doesn't he? Da iawn.
The rare bit. So the rare bit sailing the seven seas.
He does this bit for like when Anthony Hopkins the other day wore an English shirt. And like it was uproar because like, why are you doing this, Hoppers? I mean, Hoppers has done a few things that are a bit. I
did see that Gav Murphy put the top was Olympus has fallen. Yeah.
Gav Murphy did a podcast episode about it on his podcast, and he said he I won't repeat what he said. It's so mad. We'll get him on soon anyway. Gav's coming on here, so hopefully anyway.
Another first name too. Gav will get on there. Don't worry about Gavala.
But I was going to say that. But Matthew Rhys, Mr. Rhys, father,
Mr. Rhys, daddy.
He's always like, he's like how I am when I work in London. I just say, hi, Shemaine, nice to meet you, I'm from Wales, before I even do anything.
Before anything happens,
I always just like, we cut me and you, and we bleed mentioning Wales. It just cut me open. The words mad not come out.
As we said before, I cut my wrist to keep the dragon red.
Yeah. Have we said that before?
But I said it before, all right? And I'm saying it again now.
We're on. It's a strange podcast.
But yes, the ship, the Rabbit, he actually bought on eBay in 2017. And I sort of thought, you don't get any kooky purchases on eBay anymore, do you? I realise that now when I'm saying that, that's like a fucking stand-up shite, isn't it? Like you're gonna get kooky things on eBay, guys.
Airport food. How do they get it so hot? That was.
With eBay, we just get some kooky things on there. That's all gone, isn't it? But yes, that's. I thought it was worth noting for some reason. I put it down here. He got it on eBay, and it's called the Rare Bit. So that's his connection to Wales. He's a supporter of Plaid Cymru. Oi, oi! He's spoken out in favour of Welsh independence. Oi, oi! Nice one, Matthew. He also speaks Welsh to his son, stating he thinks it's very important that he understands his father's native language. Oi, 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 Matthew. Da iawn ti.
Okay.
Could he be any more perfect? What a dreamboat. Anyway, he was honoured as a fellow at Aberystwyth University in 2008 as well, which I thought you'd like because it's your favourite place in the world.
It is. It's where it's where my ashes shall be.
Where I shall be buried.
Yeah. Not buried. I don't want to be buried.
Scattered. Sorry.
Scattered. Like my scat.
Scattered.
We started this episode off with scat chat, and now we're going to finish with scat chat.
Back to scat chat. He's also was accepted as a member of the Gorsedd, or the Druidic Order, in the Welsh National Eisteddfod for his contributions to Welsh language and Wales under the bardic name Matthew Tav. Ooh. When do you think we're going to be accepted to the Gorsedd? It's got to be soon, right?
Yeah, it's got to be soon. For
couple of chances
for supporting alcoholics and mostly English drinks like Carlin. I don't feel we've done enough to support Welsh produce.
We drink quite a lot of Captain Morgan's, although it's not Welsh produce. It's Welsh by name.
We drink a lot of Barty.
We bang on about Barty plenty, I'd say.
Bastards ever come across.
Is that what you need to get the highest honour in Welsh culture?
Yeah.
Just bang on about a Welsh
I could do my classic. We have quite a few American listeners, actually. Maybe that
you could do that.
Yeah, something I say.
We are spreading the good words, to be fair.
Spreading our legs and spreading the good words.
Spreading the good words, spreading our asses, spreading it all.
You got to wrap this up, I got to go.
I got to close this up now, right?
Yeah.
So I did try and find, like I did with Anthony Hopkins' episode, try and find some funny reviews about his movies and TV, but I really couldn't find anything that stood out much. Maybe he's just too fucking good.
He's just too good. That's what I mean. He's not a caricature. He's not wacky. He's just fucking good. Nah.
I did find one though, right? He was in a series called Perry Mason that ran from 2020 to 2023, and I found some comments on Reddit. And this little dalliance I thought was funny. Someone went, "I can't stand his constant wounded scowl," and then someone instantly replied underneath, "Don't like Matthew Rhys? I'm sure there's a treatment available to restore normal cognitive function."
Reddit sucks. Everyone on Reddit is such a fucking actually. They just like to put. It's all they want to do is put down. They want to. The whole point of Reddit is to show you're cleverer than someone else. It's like, what you think? 14 megahertz is the right ratio for this audio. Actually, it's everything. Just actually.
I only lurk on Reddit. I don't stick my oar in unless it's to do with the pod.
You ask any
stuff,
question for that bit of guidance, so any support for anything, and all the feedback is just sarcastic. Like,
can I just have the help of the internet, please? Oh, you don't know how to do that? Oh, you're a LARPer, mate.
Anyway. I
did like that. I did like that response. But anyway, that's it. He's a fucking legend. I know we have a Welsh bias, but he's a great guy. Got great productions. Go give him a watch. Go follow him on Instagram and all that shit.
I actually might email his agents and be like, I think he'd actually really like this.
Come on, bro.
No, we could never ask him on because that's mental. But we could always say, listen to Owen Glyn do our series, right? And maybe invite us to be extras.
What do you reckon, Matt? What do you reckon, Matt, boy?
We're both like really cool in that, actually, Matt. Anyway.
Basically saying we're going to be on S4C soon, mate. I promise.
Can I come to America and meet some of your mates like, thanks, Matt.
Do you want to help me buy a pub, Matt, please?
Matt, can I have a pub? Can I name it fucking Cowl?
Can I have a pub?
Can I have a pub called a Cowl? Thanks, Matt. All right, Matt. Cheers for listening, mate.
You take us out on Rare Bet, Bo. See you later, Matt.
All right, then.
Anyway, see you later. That's a good ending, I think. Nice one.
Bye.
Ta-da.